Hi, Gauthami. Great
Harish,
connect with you once again for second part of child psychology. So I'm glad to connect with you today.
I'm happy to be here, Rashmi. Thanks for this opportunity.
So we had few more questions which came from my city people. So
Okay,
let's
okay.
quickly start with our first question. So it says, what are the techniques and methods to make teenagers feel free to interact with their parents?
Okay. See, all the parents, like we want our teenagers to be friends with us, most of the parents, And this is one of the frequent questions I get from my clients, my relatives, whoever interacts with me. They always ask me how to be a best friend to your child, our child. Actually, you have to be a friendly parent. Don't try to be friends with your kid. They have abundance of friends. Okay, so when you become friend, it's tough to implement boundaries. So you have to be a parent, but you have to be a friendly parent. Okay, so how to build a rapport, or how to build a relationship with your teen is like, first and foremost, accept that they're teenagers. Okay, we usually want them to behave like adults,
Hmm.
so be
Right.
very mature and
Two
not do
minutes.
mistakes.
2 minutes.
Okay, so first we have to accept them as teens. They're not adults. Like we sort of expect them to behave like adults, okay, and not do mistakes. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's not possible. It takes about 26 years for the human brain to develop fully. So teenagers will take different types of risks. They won't understand the consequences. So as parents, we have to be a little gentle yet firm with them. Okay. So then we have to build trust. Okay. When you build trust, you can't break it. If you break the trust once, it will take a lot of time to build it back. And when teenagers trust you, they will literally come and discuss anything and everything with you. So that
Yes,
would be the second thing.
that's
And
true.
yeah, acknowledge and appreciate them. Whenever they do something good. Okay. See, you shouldn't praise them unnecessarily, but acknowledging whenever they do something nice, it boosts their morality, energy. It it gives them a high that they want to get that appreciation from their parents again.
Yeah.
It matters a lot. Okay.
Right.
So
True.
then the key skill of communication is listen more and talk less. But what we usually do, right, whether it's a parent or anybody, we
Yeah.
talk more and listen less. There's a saying, right, Rashmi? You have 2 ears and one mouth because you have to talk less and listen more. So with teenagers too, start to listen, allow them to talk, allow them to express. Okay,
Yeah.
and when as a parent you listen, right, don't jump into give advice, argue directions. Let them
Hmm.
figure it out themselves.
Right.
Okay, and of course you can give an advice because as a parent you are more mature, you have more experience. Okay, but when you give it, let it be the last thing to do. Let it not be the first thing. The child has an issue, don't jump into
Exactly.
solve the issue for the child. Okay, let them explore the possible solutions. Okay, then you could give the advice as a suggestion. Okay,
Hmm.
or you have a discussion with them where you say, how about this, what do you think about this, ask their
Right.
opinion.
Yeah. Where they
Okay,
are able
so
to
you
explore more, and then you
more
can
on that.
just add to it to
Yeah.
solve them or take them forward. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, shall we move to the next question?
Yes, we have the next question
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
How to shift the behavior of kids who are
Hmm.
short-tempered, lazy,
Okay.
rude on daily basis.
Okay. Okay. Short-tempered, rude, and lazy. Okay.
On daily
So I
basis,
think
everyday story
daily
in phone.
basis. Okay. Okay. First thing here would be, Rashmi, I would suggest the parents who are going through this, like, if the kids are doing this, understand why it is happening. What is the reason that the child is always angry or mostly angry and rude? Okay, especially I'll come to the lazy part later. But if the child is very angry, right, most of the times, see if the kid is imitating somebody at home,
Hmm.
okay, or from the environment, whether it could be school or hobby class or relatives. Usually kids imitate.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
so that's how they learn, right? So they might be imitating somebody. Okay, or one more reason could be the kid is really frustrated about something. Okay, then if you don't find the reason why the child is frustrated, then no matter how many tips and techniques I give parents, it won't work.
Hmm.
Okay, it is like treating, when somebody gets fever, right, we have to understand why that person is getting fever.
Right.
Okay, and treat the reason. Okay, crocin may bring the fever down, but if the reason is not treated, they'll get fever again and again.
That's true.
Okay,
Huh.
so similarly in the behavioral issues, like first understand why it's happening. Whether the child is imitating or there's a particular reason the child is behaving so. Okay, or is the child going through a major issue?
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, sometimes the child might be going through an issue but unable to express. Even teenagers, right? They sometimes the kids don't develop the actual vocabulary to tell what's happening. Okay,
Right.
I meet kids who are even 10,
They're
12,
unable
13,
to
15
frame
years,
sentences or
frame the sentences and say what exactly is happening inside. Okay, so they might be going through so many things. It could be friends, issues with friends, or issues with studies. Okay, or it could be an addiction to the gadgets.
hmm.
And even then the kid might be getting angry because the kid is using, say, like 4 5 hours. Then when you take away, that might be causing frustration. Okay, and the frustration might be like, you give access 24/7. Even then the kid is frustrated.
Huh.
That also happens. Okay, so parents have to find the reason why
Is
it's
it that
happening.
they're spending so much time on phone that ethical development, development of moral values, I think that is, in my opinion, I believe that is going down, and that all that frustration just comes out in some or the other way. Like if they
Yeah,
had good
see,
moral values developed, then they would want to
uh,
interact with people instead of gadgets, right?
yeah. So what happens is when they're too much into gadgets, right? That human communication reduces.
Of
Okay,
course,
even when you're
it's
chat,
with
yeah,
others
even
also.
when, yeah. So like you as a human being, you need certain amount of connection. You want to be heard, you want to speak, okay, you want to make a difference to somebody. Okay, you want to, that communication has to happen. That won't happen when they're too much into gadgets. Okay,
Hmm.
and importantly, like, oh, they'll be staring at the screen. They don't know what's happening outside. They get disconnected. That affects. Okay,
Exactly.
so yeah, and after taking care of all of this, even then, if the child is having a lot of anger issues, then you need to teach some calming techniques. Like,
Hmm.
remind the child, first and foremost, point it out to the child saying that you are angry as of now. Like, you could even ask, are you feeling angry?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
most of the time the child wouldn't have realized he or she is feeling anger.
Yeah, there's a thing, we kind of do not acknowledge the anger emotion and it erupts
Yes.
suddenly.
Yeah,
It's with
yeah,
everybody, and it's now in
yeah.
kids, prevalent in kids. It's.
A lot, a lot.
Crazy.
The thing is, when I have heard many of the adults tell, or I've heard this, don't get angry.
Huh.
Sit madko bardo. In Kannada, it's said, like, don't
Yeah.
get angry. It's difficult not to get angry. Anger is an emotion.
Yes.
Like happiness, it's also an emotion. It's very natural to feel. But how you express, and
Like
if you're
otherwise,
feeling.
hmm. Yeah, yeah. Please continue. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me. So one has to look into that, and calming techniques would be first and foremost bringing the awareness to the kid, saying that what he's feeling as of now.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Okay, okay, asking, are you feeling irritated? Are you feeling angry? Okay, and then uh, ask him to go and drink a cup of water. Okay, wash face with cold water. Take a break of 5 minutes. Do something else. Okay, if they have a balcony or a terrace, go out. Okay, change the scenario, change the place. Usually when the place is changed, the anger comes down.
Right. Hmm.
Okay, apart from this, there are many other techniques. Maybe we could do a session someday on how to deal with anger.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. That's true.
Okay, so then coming to children being rude.
Yeah.
A child could be rude again. Mostly it is a learned behavior. Okay, they would be imitating somebody. Check who the child is imitating. Okay,
Hmm.
if the child is not imitating, then even if the child is imitating, you could do this speak to the child about the consequences of being rude. Okay, saying that telling how would you feel if your friend treated you the same way.
Hmm.
Whenever the kid does something rude, just put the question back to them. Saying that how would you feel if somebody did the same to you,
Hmm.
and show them how to be nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this will not change overnight.
Right. It's,
Okay. So
uh,
every time the child is, sorry, tell me you were about to say something.
no, no, because it's not about just one child, right? It's that environment also. Like if five other
Yeah.
kids are same and he's picking
Yeah.
up on similar frequency,
Yeah, it could
knowingly
be
or
five
unknowingly.
other kids, or yeah, it could be adults at home or school environment. It could be anywhere. The kid could be picking. Okay, one is finding out from where the kid is picking. Okay, and most of the times it's tough to change that. If one of the teacher is being rude and the child is imitating,
Hmm.
it's close to impossible to go and correct the teacher. Okay, or even at home, right? Like if one of the adult is rude, it might be a little difficult for the other adults to change that
Hmm.
unless they are willing to learn and change.
Yeah.
Okay, but it helps to understand from where the kid is getting this behavior.
Hmm.
Okay, and gently show the child what are the consequences. Okay, what happens, what does one feel when you're rude to them. Okay, and repeat this every time the child is rude. It will not be changed overnight.
It'll take,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, it
that
will take time. It depends,
programming.
sometimes sometimes the kid can change within few days,
Yeah.
sometimes a week, a month.
Yes.
But kids change, Rashmi. It's very easy to mold kids than adults. I'm telling this from my own experience.
That's
It's
true.
easy to mold kids. Once they learn something, they hold it. But adults, they learn, they unlearn also very fast.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So then coming to the
Laziness.
laziness part. Okay. So
I think it should have
most
been
of the
adult
parents.
psychology because I'm feeling oh, all these issues are still there with adults too.
OS, OS. Okay. So laziness is especially when you have a lot of freedom, right?
Hmm.
Like let's say you have a lot of time for yourself. Okay. See, when the kid is going to school, followed by activities. Like, there is not much of laziness happening there.
Hmm. Hmm.
But when there is a lot of time, right? This is when the laziness comes into picture. Okay. So the first and foremost thing is to create a schedule and stick to it. Okay. And the schedule shouldn't be so tight that it doesn't give any freedom to the child. Like, the child should have some breathing time to play, to do things which are not there in the schedule. At the same time, there should be a framework which the child will follow. Okay.
Right.
And there should be different framework for holidays and weekdays or school days.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so this is one aspect. And second aspect is, see, my own experience is when you have goals, right?
Right.
Goals can put so much of energy to a person, laziness will run away.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay, so set goals, goals which are energizing, encouraging, and meaningful, and help children to achieve those goals. So it's very fulfilling, and you don't have to remind them every time to do something.
Right. There's one thing which suddenly clicked for me. I want to ask this supporting the same question. We have
Yeah.
made it in such a way where if we are scheduling something for like few activities for kids, and then we are putting few time less time for relaxation, but then that is what they keep looking for the entire day, and you're just passing through the work. You're just
Okay.
doing your activities only to get that time of relaxation. And this is happening with adults also, where, we work weekdays and we just wait for Saturday, Sunday to come.
Wait. Yeah. See.
How we can change that, like forever, if possible, how we can change that for a really long time where we are enjoying every other day
Okay.
as, on at the same
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah. So again, I would say, setting goals. Spend some time to know what you really want. Okay. So
Hmm.
in my courses, there is a segment where I work with children and parents.
Okay.
Okay. And I make them write what is important to them. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
once you know what is important to you and you set goals on that, they automatically act as a positive, something to push you. And second
Right.
thing is, you need to build a community of people who are in a similar goal.
Yes, I think that's what
Okay.
we require, a healthy
Yeah.
community. We
See,
nowadays see that, like, we are just in tier two or tier three cities. We just leave kids to play and we don't even care what they did, what they didn't do. But then we need to even see that are they being in a good productive group.
yes. Yeah. So this is
Uh,
one, when I see my students, right, I teach them how to collaborate than be competitive. Okay. Unless they
so
are into competitive sports, right? Okay.
you
Where
need
they
to get that
have to be the
kickback.
number one. Okay, they don't have to compete with friends, like all this classmate first and second, right?
Yeah.
More than that, it's like, how each can collaborate. And
Yes.
Rashmi, if you see today's scenario, corporate world, right?
Hmm.
See, in Google you will find products by Amazon,
Hmm.
right? Or in from Amazon you will find Google products.
Yeah.
Okay, so they collaborate. There's enough for everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
so you need to have a community. You need to have a goal. Okay, and affirmations. Every morning when you get up, after you say your initial prayers, you have to sit for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, and write your goals. I have this book with me, which was
Yeah.
uh, is
Okay.
my goal book. Okay, so what I do is morning first I write down, and somehow it gives energy for the whole day.
Yeah. Something to look
Okay,
forward to.
so yeah, so I suggest this practice for my students as well as the parents.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So when
That's
they write
beneficial.
down their goals, there's something magical that happens.
Yes. There is
Okay.
something about
And
writing down. Even my mom keeps telling, You don't understand the topic, it's okay, but still write it." I think she just knew the power of putting it down in the paper. Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
also see, like when you, sorry, I interrupted.
No,
When
no,
you
no.
keep goals, yeah, goals, right? See, you have a big goal, yes, okay, but keep smaller steps to climb. It's like a ladder, okay. So if you keep the steps so high and you are so tall, you have to jump to the next
Yeah.
step. It's very difficult. You won't feel like jumping
Yeah.
because you'll have to jump 1,000 times to reach that, and you
Yeah.
may fail more often. Okay, so when you set goal, set it so that your next step is doable.
Hmm. Right.
Okay.
That's